Hi, everyone. Gene Nichols back with you for another edition of Community Roundup, and very happy to have with us today Adrian Papa, California Bank and Trust Senior Vice President, Regional Sales Manager. He's here to talk about a great upcoming webinar you might be interested in hearing about. Mr. Papa, welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being on. Looking forward to it.
California Bank and Trust putting together this webinar coming up on the 7th of May. What is the webinar about, and who decided that this is a good time to offer something like this to the general public?
Yes, the webinar we're having is open to folks to register and join, and we're going to have folks from the SBA. We'll have our SBA administrator. We'll have one of our bankers as well as one of our customers who've utilized SBA. We put this together because SBA financing is a great program, whether you are an existing business, a newer business, or a startup business looking for financing. There's a lot of different ways customers can get financing, and SBA is one of the ways to give customers more options, especially if they are a newer business or if they are a startup.
Have you offered these webinars in the past, or are you just starting these out?
We've offered several different types of webinars in the past. Previously, we've had a home buying webinar. We've had an HR webinar with one of our partners. We've also had a webinar specifically for business for women entrepreneurs. I've been running this group for about a year, and this is the first SBA webinar that I'll be personally hosting.
We're in some interesting times here in the United States, but with the world constantly in flux, obviously things are always changing on the fly. Now we factor in things like coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic when a lot of businesses were harmed, a new administration in Washington. We're looking at things called tariffs now that we don't always hear a whole lot about. So people who are small business owners or even entrepreneurs hoping to get started, they need something like this webinar coming up because it's hard to get all this information in one location if you're just starting out, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. The SBA is an amazing program that business owners can leverage, and there's a lot of requirements for those programs to ensure that a borrower is eligible. And knowing your resources from the government, knowing your resources from the bank, and having a partner like a relationship manager who can walk you through all of those steps, I feel is really important to make the process smooth and to make it efficient.
You have a number of people joining you on this webinar. Take us through that list of people who will be offering their professional expertise.
Yes, we have Justin Simpson. He's our SBA Enterprise Administrator. We have Michael Sokobol, who works for the SBA here in San Diego, and those two will be our subject matter experts. You have myself. I run the SBA business development team here at California Bank and Trust and works with the lenders who works with the business owners. And then you'll also have Hillary, who's one of our relationship managers who works with customers in the field and working with them through their applications, helping them with the process. And then we'll have one of our very own customers who we recently helped with real estate and business purchases using the SBA program.
You had mentioned just a couple of moments ago about requirements. What do prospective borrowers through an SBA loan program need to do? What do they need to prepare for, not only before they try to get the loan, but before they even attend this webinar on May 7th?
That's a great question. I think one of the most important things is if I'm a business owner looking to seek SBA financing, I would highly recommend that they go online and they can either go to the SBA website, they can call California Bank and Trust and speak to one of our SBA business development officers. But we have a list of eligibility questions which will help make sure that this is the right program for them. A couple of them are fairly simple, making sure you're a business that's for profit, making sure you're owned 100% by a U.S. citizen, legal permanent resident, or U.S. national. In addition to some other questions like where is your business located? Have you previously been delinquent or not paid back federal debt? So there's definitely a series of questions that a borrower can review with us, or they can look at the requirements online to make sure that this is the best path for them for their lending.
Speaking of online, here's the website to go to, folks, to sign up for this Wednesday, May 7th webinar. It's from 10 in the morning till 11:30 in the morning. That's California time. It's calbanktrust.com. webinar. And because it's a webinar, Mr. Papa, I would imagine it's unlimited accommodations. You can take as many as call in.
Yes, we're hosting it through Zoom, so we should be able to take as many people as wants to join. We're expecting many people, not just here locally, but from all across California that will likely be joining to hear how SBA financing can help them.
Certainly, if they get an SBA loan, they don't necessarily get that from the SBA. The loan would still have to go through a financial institution, say like California Bank and Trust. Am I correct?
Yes, at California Bank and Trust, we're what's called a PLP lender, and that allows us to work directly with the SBA in rendering a credit decision, which will help streamline the process, save them some time, and that lets the customer know that they're working with a bank that has a great partnership with the SBA.
Typically, small businesses get their financing and funding from an SBA loan, or do they just borrow a lot of money from their family and friends and hope things work out?
Great question. In my personal experience, being a business owner in my family and myself, oftentimes a business owner will bootstrap it, finance it themselves, raise money with friends and family, identify funds through a high interest rate lender. The SBA program really provides an outlet for business owners to get financing they need, and it allows them the flexibility to potentially have longer terms, lower down payments, and more flexible guidelines in terms of becoming able to be approved for that type of loan.
Again, the website, calbanktrust.com/webinar. Go there, sign up. The webinar is from 10 in the morning till 11:30 in the morning, Wednesday, May 7th, put on by California Bank and Trust. I've been speaking with Adrian Papa, Regional Sales Manager and the Senior Vice President of California Bank and Trust here in the state of California. Final question for you, Mr. Papa. What is the number one issue prospective business owners should know, think they might know, but end up finding out they don't know prior to going into business for themselves?
That's an amazing question. I think the number one issue prospective business owners should think about before going into business is the market demand and ensuring that there's a real sustainable desire for the product or service they're providing. If they don't have that clear demand, there's going to come a point where their business may struggle. And this includes making sure they understand their target audience, competition, that they're really solving a problem or providing a product that adds value. That would be my recommendation of what business owners should consider and think about before they go into business.
And then following the webinar, you're going to have people available to build some of those one-on-one relationships that are vital to small business owners or fledgling entrepreneurs to get their dream up and going. This is what CBT does for part of its living, so to speak, right?
Yes, absolutely. On a regular basis, we're answering questions, we're providing guidance, we're directing people to resources to make sure that they are prepared, they are comfortable, they are confident, and that they are making the best decision for them. Because owning a business is like having a new member of your family. It's something that you really care about and you want to make sure is successful and you want to make sure it has the best chance of doing great.
Learn more at this great webinar coming up Wednesday, May 7th, 10 in the morning till 11:30 in the morning, being put on by California Bank and Trust. It's on Zoom, so register now at calbanktrust.com/webinar. My guest has been Adrian Papa, Senior Vice President and Regional Sales Manager for California Bank and Trust. Mr. Papa, thanks so much for the eye-opening information. We'll pass it on to all of our listeners, some of whom may dream of being a business owner. Some may be already, and they may be looking to expand. This is a great opportunity for them to get some great information from folks who know the answers.